Hello everyone, I hope you're doing well. My name is Pramod Pandey, and in this lecture we will talk about very recent or the latest standard which is out there is in IFRS 19. There are certain rules, certain concept, certain principle which you need to know from your AAA perspective for your this IFRS 19 standard, and we will be discussing the same and the summary of the same in this next 10 to 15 minutes. I just wanted you to hold there because in this standard, because this has been newly launched, it is there into the process of getting tested and getting applied in the initial years. So we will be looking on how and certain things could be tested from this standard and what you need to know from your exam perspective. So this IFRS standard, which was issued in May 2024, it would having the effective for the annual reporting period on or after the 1st January 2027. So whosoever company would be preparing their reporting period, what is a reporting period? We have discussed this. So reporting period is basically for what? When the company is making the statement or the financial statement for a concern or specific period. So that specific period is basically becomes the reporting period. So this standard will need to be become effective for the reporting period on or after which is being prepared after the 1st January 2027, which is earlier application permitted. Okay. If any company who would like to follow this earlier, it is also allotted. The objective of this standard is that allows certain subsidies that do not have any public accountability to apply full IFRS recognition, measurement, presentation, but will reduce disclosure requirement. So it does mean that those companies or those subsidies who would not be having public accountability, they can apply the 4 IFRS for the recognition, measurement, and presentation, but they would be having some reduced disclosure requirement. So the disclosure requirement has been reduced because ultimately everything which is going to be disclosed would be creating n number of the disclosure into the financial statement, and someone who would like me and like you would not like to go through the disclosure requirement at all, because ultimately that isn't what means certain sort of information. So if we're going to put disclosure for each and everything which is out there, because ultimately we are covering 30 standard in this IFRS course, right? So they would have been 13 standard, and for each and every standard there would be more than one disclosure. So suppose 100 disclosure would be making things appropriate to go through at once, right? So it would be like that. Any important disclosure which should have been taken care by the shareholder would might go hidden, which might go unidentified into the financial statement. So just because of that, there are certain things which has been done through which reduced disclosure requirement has been given. This has been given to all the companies who are following IFRS. Still, they have to produce some reduced disclosure requirement, but that is only case when they would be having no public accountability. Okay, but now it is again an optional elective for eligible subsidies. It is something not forced or mandatory for HNS subsidy, but subsidy when they want to apply this, that is something available for them. Now the story and the narrative which we're going to use in the class is that suppose there's a large company, parent company that issues consolidated financial statement under the IFRS. It is a small manufacturing subsidiary sub-company which is not listed. If it is not listed, in that case, they are not directly having a public accountability. So they does not have any public accountability. Today, despite being small, as company must prepare for disclosure under the IFRS standard when making its separate financial statement, because it would become easier for the parent company to consolidate the financial statement, which are again prepared on the IFRS only. This led to the high cost and information overload for the users. IFRS 19 steps in and says relief measure. What does it mean? It says that you must follow all the rules, recognitions, measurement, presentations of IFRS, but disclosure part can be fewer one. You can reduce the n number of the disclosure you need to give. So you can use the fewer disclosures, reduce only what is really relevant for the user of the sub-company financial statement, because ultimately whosoever reading the parent company will not be going to very specific to the subsidy company, and if there would be any subsidy company who is not listed, so that is very small company we can assume, right? And that is in the words of the listing. So in that case, the disclose, because the public accountability is not there, so we can keep the limited or the reduced disclosure for that. So the student can see the requirement must follow the IFRS for recognition, measurement, presentation. For this, you have to follow the same standard. You have to follow the same IFRS. You cannot negotiate on that. But you would be having some relief when you have to disclose something. So on the disclosure part, you would be showing less disclosure. So in that case, it would be saving your cost. It would be saving your time. Okay. Now it is an eligibility and scope. If we will just go through some rules, areas, and the requirement. So to apply IFRS 19, the entity must be subsidiary, which would not be having public accountability, and they would be having parent which could be ultimate or intermediate, that prepare the consolidated financial statement, which is available for the public use, right? Now, the public accountability definition is basically the one if their debt or equity instrument are traded publicly or being issued trade, or its whole asset in fiduciary capacity for the board group outside the primary business. So in the public definition, you can just talk about if that is a non-listed company, and the company which is more of like a private one and that is there would not be having affected or being affecting the general public. If I just talk about the disclosure requirement, in that case, the entity follow all other measurement. For recognition, they have to follow the same standard. The measurement, they have to follow the same standard for presentation, but they can use the reduced stat of the disclosure. And there is one more thing. In a reduced stat, they have given the list of the standard, list of the disclosure which need to be given, irrespective of whether you are in applying this or not. So there will be some standard which you need to give in at all. Now, if I just talk about the comparability in election, if entity start applying IFRS 9 in current period and did not impair, in that case, it should present comparative information for all items unless exempted. If there would be some item which are exempted, in that case, you can leave them, but it should prepare the comparative information. Okay, that comparative information is going to be applied by that comparative information is going to be look after only when the company has started applying the IFRS 19, right? Now, there are certain other rules which you need to take care about, like optional application revocation. The entity may elect to apply IFRS 9. It can also revoke. Revoke means cancel. It can also revoke that election under the certain rules, right? There are certain rules which has been defined, but you do not need to know this in detail. All there are certain things about what are the certain disclosure which need to be given and what does IFRS 19 says, right? IFRS 19 says that, if I just have to summarize what we've been through, that for measurement, recognition, and presentation, you cannot negotiate. You have to rule the same rule which has been used by the parent company or the normal company would be using as an IFRS. But on the disclosure part, there are certain number of the disclosure which need to be given, but there are certain number of the disclosure which could be exempted. Second thing, but this is only available for the subsidiary company and the subsidiary company who does not have any public accountability, but they would be having a parent company who does have public accountability. So there is a parent company who does have public accountability. There is one subsidiary company either immediately or direct basis which would not be having a public accountability that can follow this standard, that can apply this standard. Still, this standard is not mandatory, but it can, those companies, those subsidiary company can elect for this, right? This is overall the summary that you need to know from this IFRS. Now, how this could be tested? You can explain to the student in the table paper. This is more of like something that I have taken from the HTTP. So this is his line which you can just ignore for time being. IFRS 19 won't be tested in several way. It does mean in detail or something very important way. Instead, here's some might think that could happen. In an audit risk and planning, it could be possible that you are auditing a parent company. You're auditing a parent company and that parent company has a subsidiary company which does not have any public accountability. So that could be a scenario. So identify risks of non-compliance. For a subsidiary claiming IFRS 19, the auditor must assess if the reduced disclosure omits important information or not. Plan if there would be any additional procedure to verify whether those reduced disclosures are adequate in the context or not. So you have to look on the context as well, right? Now, in a question number ethics, it could be possible that if it is ethical to reuse the reduced disclosure or not, if it is justifiable to allow the reduced disclosure or not, these are the certain scenarios which can be used, right? The user of the financial statement would be having disadvantage if certain disclosure are not going to be presented, right? And evidence, how to verify the subsidy correctly qualify. So if we have to verify whether the subsidy company does qualify for the reduced disclosure or to apply this IFRS 19, in that case, you have to look for what are the way through which you can verify this, right? In the reporting question, which is going to be the last question area, it could be possible that if the subsidy company failed to disclose requirement under the IFRS 19, then this would have to look forward whether the auditor issue the modified report or not. But this is in the context of when the certain standard would be having certain disclosure which are mandatory for each and every company, because these are something very material nature. So those should not be missed. If the auditor has an observation that those mandatory disclosure has been missed, or the subsidy who does not following the disclosure which they should have done, in that case, what is going to be the action of the auditor, right? And then evaluate whether any omission or material or whether addition disclosure outside the IFRS might be needed to ensure that users are not misleaded. So we have to look forward whether we should be in an ethical way, so that we should put and disclosure which should not be there or which is exempted according to the IFRS 19, but which should be there accordingly, so that the user of the financial statement will not be misleaded. So this is a very smallest standard which is taking just 10 to 15 minutes, and that is all what you need to know according to the requirement of your IFRS 19 that is there in a TPLA paper. I hope you have been through this standard with this note, because I'm just comparing, because all this you need to take care of the summary. Okay, there is a parent company who's in public accountability. Parent company does a subsidiary company who does not have a public accountability, that can follow the IFRS standard by their choice. This is not mandatory, and then they have to look for which standard would be having some mandatory disclosure, which standard would be having something disclosure which could be exempted, right? So this is all what you need to take care about. But there will always be some disclosure which should not be disclosed of, right? Which should not be exempted. So this is all what you need to take care about. With this note, I Pramod Pandey would be signing off from this lecture. Would like to meet you in the next one. Till then, take care. Have a good time.